What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package and infrastructure update and daily news report for Tuesday, May 11th. So this week is going to be a big week in Washington. Congress is working on a lot of different things. President Biden is holding multiple meetings with lawmakers, and hopefully this infrastructure package will get closer to an agreement than it currently is. We also know over the past few days, multiple states have decided to opt out of the federal unemployment benefits. This is starting to gain more and more steam with other states as well, and this is something that I warned you guys on, and so I just want to fill you in on what states are currently going to opt out. There's currently 4 of them, and there will most likely be more over the coming days. We also know that if families do not file their taxes by May 17th, then they could experience delays when it comes to the child tax credits or the monthly payments that come out starting in July. We also know state and local governments will be getting their share of the $350 billion over the next week, and this is from the American Rescue Plan that passed back in March, which means more stimulus could be coming to you very soon, but it would most likely be coming at a state and local level as opposed to a federal level as of right now. We also know a group of progressives want to pass legislation very soon, and this legislation would provide free meals to all children. Bernie Sanders, who is one of these progressives, is also calling out Speaker Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, saying that their SALT tax deduction request is unacceptable. And the talks of a 4th stimulus check is only going to intensify as lawmakers debate what should and should not be included into this next bill. Progressives are leading the charge here. However, there are more lawmakers getting on board with this because now they see that more relief is desperately needed. So again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you could, go ahead, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. But let's begin. So, talking about unemployment, and I want to reference this because there are a lot of people that will be impacted by the cancellation of unemployment benefits. There's like 19 million people on unemployment right now. A large portion of these people are on pandemic unemployment assistance. These are gig workers, self-employed workers that get unemployment just because it's coming from the federal government, the federal level. Through state unemployments, they get zero, they get nothing. So this is why this is big. This is big because this could mean, we have maybe 10 million people that if unemployment gets canceled, they will be screwed because there's no additional payments coming. No stimulus checks, no unemployment benefits, maybe not a child tax credit, we don't know. But this is why some lawmakers are saying that we need to get to the bottom of this issue. So here's what we know. First, there are many large corporations that are saying that the federal unemployment benefits are deterring people from coming into work. And this is causing many issues for businesses, but now their issues are starting to be put off onto the state. Here's what we're hearing, okay, and this is kind of what we're seeing, because over the past few days, more and more states have been considering opting out of the federal unemployment benefits simply because they're paying people too much to stay at home. And again, we can go back and forth. We can debate this, whether this is true or not. But the truth is that we are stuck. We are stuck about 6.1% unemployment rate, and the jobs are not coming back as quickly as many people predicted. We were expecting 1 million jobs to be coming back in the last report that came out on Friday. However, we fell woefully short. We only 266,000. So that is what is causing some experts to say, no, we need to, change the unemployment situation, because right now, maybe that's not the leading factor, but that has something to do with it. So again, we will see what happens. However, for the states currently opting out of the federal unemployment benefits, and again, if you don't know what this does include the $300 per week as a boost. This does include pandemic unemployment assistance, that's the PUA, for all gig workers. And here's the big one, it includes any long-term unemployed person, which means that if you get unemployment, okay, or if you have unemployment or have had unemployment for over 52 weeks, you would simply be cut off. You'd be cut off completely, which there's a lot of people out there that have been unemployed for over 52 weeks. Currently, what we know is that there are 79 weeks of unemployment benefits available. That is under the American Rescue Plan. But the problem here is some states are just going to opt out of this, which means it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. If your state decided to opt out, then you get absolutely nothing. So, what are the 4 states as of right now? Well, you know, if you watched my video yesterday, if you didn't get a chance to watch it, I highly recommend you go and do. Also, make sure you hit that thumbs up button on this video and go and click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. But the 4 states, we know there's Montana. They were the first one that decided to opt out. The day after, South Carolina decided to opt out. So here's what we know. Montana will be opting out, and they will be done with federal unemployment benefits as of June 27th. South Carolina will be done on June 30th. We also know as of yesterday, Mississippi is going to be done on June 12th, and Arkansas will be done on June 27th as well. The majority, according to reports, the majority of states will most likely opt out on June 27th, simply because that is 10 weeks before the actual the federal unemployment benefits were to expire. So, as of right now, there are those 4 states. But out of those 4 states, only one is giving people a back-to-work bonus, and that is Montana. They're going to give you $1,200 as a back-to-work bonus. Just go back to work. But you have to go back before July 4th. If you don't, then you don't get the bonus. So we will see what happens there. Some say that this is actually a step backwards, and this has many people very upset. But a lot of people thought that they would have the entire summer, and this is where things start to get really tricky. Is okay, if during the summer, usually you have like school-age children. I say children, but they're 16, 17, 18-year-olds, right? Young adults. They are trying to go and get work for the summer to maybe pay for clothing for the next year, or books, or whatever, maybe a car, things like that. What we're going to experience over the summer is more and more people are going to try to go into the workforce. The problem here is, who do you think is going to get hired? Do you think the person that is requesting $18 per hour is going to get hired over the 16, 17, 18-year-old that has nothing going on? They have no obligations like children, and they're only requesting $10, $11, $12 per hour. Who do you think the business is going to hire? The person requesting $18, or the one that's requesting or nothing, and you can simply dictate what you will pay them? That's the issue, is the higher wage earners are probably going to have an issue and struggle here to go into some of these, more seasonal jobs. So we will see what happens there, but that is a crisis that we need to look into. Now, one thing that we do know is that right now, more and more lawmakers are starting to get involved with this entire situation. Many lawmakers are calling for a 4th stimulus check, and it has to be recurring. It has to be recurring now. Before it was, we should pass a recurring stimulus check. We should. It wasn't, it has to, or it must be passed. It was, we should. It's the right thing to do. This is what is going to get the American people back on their feet, and this is going to help provide for the economy. Well, because of all the stuff that's been happening over the past week or so, okay, the jobs report coming out, that was a big catalyst that we saw, that I knew going into it. Even the week before, even probably a couple weeks before, that we're going to see this was going to be the kind of that inflection point. Do we see, okay, lawmakers push for more, or does the economy, is it showing like really good signs of growth and recovery that lawmakers say, no, we don't need all this additional stimulus and relief and infrastructure, all this new spending. We can bring it down, we can tone it down a little bit. Well, that was the inflection point, and now we know lawmakers say, no, we're not doing enough. We're not doing the right things. We have to provide more. So they say that you cannot game a stimulus check. President Biden came out the other day and said that he wants people to go back to work. If they are provided or given a job offer, they need to accept it, or else they risk losing their benefits. He says that he does not want people gaming the system. However, lawmakers now say that you cannot game a stimulus check. If everybody gets them, then there is no reason why somebody would not go back to work and make even more money on top of the stimulus check. Now, we get it. I understand. I have children that, some of my children do not go to school. They're, virtual. One goes full time. The other one is part time and then virtual. So I understand where some parents are coming from that, okay, I can't go into work because I have to stay home and watch my children and help them with school. And that's an issue, right? That's a big issue. But what we're hearing is that if we give parents a stimulus check, and we can change the wording. We don't have to call it a stimulus check. Maybe it's something for, a school bonus or whatever. You can throw out any name out there. But lawmakers are simply talking about, well, let's provide, some additional relief to these people, these parents. And again, I get it. I know a lot of people are gonna, mention in the comments, well, why is there so much relief for parents? Why is there so much additional assistance for parents? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why people on Social Security are not getting more assistance and more relief and more just discussions around why are we only getting 1.3% for our cost of living adjustment. It was a disgrace. It's so small, but that's currently what we know. We also know that right now, what lawmakers are saying is by trying to give people unemployment benefits and also telling them that they must go to work, this is actually starting to complicate things. Reports indicate that Democrats are finding it more difficult to strike a balance in their plans, and this is what is causing multiple issues when dealing with an infrastructure package as well. Some say that Democrats are having a difficult time because they're trying to pass infrastructure, yet they didn't pass the right stimulus package back in March. So they have to clean that up. They have to fix the language there in order to hopefully move forward with infrastructure. The problem there is a lot of people are trying to look forward to infrastructure because the other bill was already passed, but the passed bill, back in March, that has too many issues, too many flaws, and so right now they keep jumping back and forth. Let's fix this. Oh, no, we need to pass that. Okay, let's pass this. No, we can't pass this yet because we have to fix this. Again, we're just going back and forth, kind of spinning our wheels at this time, but currently that is where things are at. Right now, though, one of the biggest fights amongst lawmakers is the amount of money that was already spent. Okay? And this isn't just a fight between Republicans and Democrats. This is a fight that we've been seeing for a while. Even some moderate Democrats said, we spent too much money. We spent too much money back in March when we passed the American Rescue Plan. News came out yesterday that California of all states, who Nancy Pelosi was saying that we really need the money, we need $350 billion, or I think at the time it was like $500 billion for state and local governments. But California yesterday came out and said they have a $75.7 billion budget surplus. And yet, it was a big deal for Nancy Pelosi to get in $350 billion for state and local government funding. But lately, the truth has been coming out that the states didn't need this money all along. So, lawmakers are now questioning whether they use the money to the best use or to the best of their ability. And honestly, right now, again, it's a good question. It's a valid question. Many people say that as of right now, that money would have been better used elsewhere. But in all honesty, okay, there has been mistakes made along the way. We know this. There are multiple reports that say this exact same thing. They say that there has to be mistakes made, or else our unemployment rate would be lower than it currently is. The economy would be doing much better. The American people would be thriving. The homelessness rate wouldn't be so high, and taxpayers wouldn't have been saddled with paying additional trillions of dollars more in debt on things that would not impact them directly. And this is a big issue. This is exactly what Republicans and many moderates in Congress are actually asking as well, is why should we ask the American people that live, let's say, in Florida to pay for a road in California or vice versa? Well, here's what we know. Speaking of things that would impact you directly, okay, a group of progressives are actually calling for more legislation very soon, and they want to see this, and I think they're going to propose it, I believe, on Friday. Don't quote me on that, but I believe on Friday. This proposal is going to provide all school children with free meals. Okay, yes, all children. Now, these meals will include breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, and okay, this will go to all children regardless of the household income. So yes, even a child that their parents make $1 million, they will continue to get or have the ability to get a free meal. Okay, so nobody will be left out. And this is what some lawmakers are saying would have been a better use of funds as opposed to giving these states, $350 billion, which they may or may not even use. The majority of states will most likely just stick it back in their emergency funds, and they can use it later on. This group of lawmakers is also saying that we must invest in our youth, that they are the future, and if we want them to be successful, the only way they can be successful is by providing some additional relief. What they say and what they worry about right now is they say children cannot focus on school and learning if they are constantly hungry. So, how do you fix that? Well, you give them more food. So, speaking of focus, though, here's something I really want to address because I thought this was interesting, and this has been something that's been going on for months, is that Bernie Sanders, yesterday, he called out Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer for their wants on the SALT tax deduction. Okay, because what we know is Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, one is from California, that's Nancy Pelosi, the other one's from New York, both high income tax states. Well, what we know is that they're under the former administration, under former President Donald Trump, that there was a SALT tax deduction or a cap of $10,000. Okay, so what Nancy Pelosi wants is she and Chuck Schumer, they both want to see this $10,000 SALT tax deduction. Okay, this cap pretty much lifted, so there's no cap. But Bernie Sanders, he came out the other day and says this is just a tax break for rich people. And this is what is causing many issues, is because right now, there are some Democrats that say they want certain things, but when it directly impacts them, that's not going to work. They don't want that. Okay, so this is just going back and forth. Lawmakers are proposing certain bills, but yet if it doesn't impact them directly or benefit them in a way, they don't want it. If they have to pay more in taxes, they don't really want that. They have to pay more in their capital gains tax. Well, we don't really want that. So we're not going to support your bill, President Biden. So this is kind of what we're getting. And right now, what I can tell you is that the fight is going to continue. There is no way, as of right now, President Biden's infrastructure package is going to pass. No way. Because there's no Republican that supports it. There's many Democrats that do not support it for multiple reasons. And because of that, there's not enough numbers to pass a bill, whether it's with a 60-vote majority in the Senate or whether it's through a budget reconciliation with only 51 votes. So right now, what I can tell you is the talks will continue. But as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching today's video. If you can, go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Also, consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.